It brings up third.
Ryan Switzer, incomplete. Makes it third down and 12 yards. To go.
Three and out, a real danger here on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 12. From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. Going up top. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. That's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
That's taken on the 25. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. And the former Heisman winner, this is Mark Ingram. And he'll wind up with about 6 up past the 30 to the 31.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Out of the gun, they give to Ingram. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down. From the gun on 3rd down, Jackson. That'll be taken in there by Miles Boykin. And now they are knocking on the door inside Pittsburgh's 10. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete.
Yeah, good game catching the ball in the backfield a week ago, and they're going to try and involve him in that way in this game as well. But you can tell scouting is taking over. They're making it a little bit more difficult.
Defensively, they told us, hey, we've got to take him out of the passing game, limit it to just short runs, because he can really impact this offense. The line of scrimmage, once again, the 5 as they get ready for 2nd and goal. Jackson now. Eluding the pressure right. Toward the pylon, caught. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. The penalty certainly makes things tougher here as they try again. 3rd and goal. From the gun, it's Jackson. Escaping the pressure right. This is caught. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. That pass play good for 7, but it still brings up a 4th and goal. Tucker's kick is good. Well, after marching down the field, only getting 3 there, kind of feels like a win for the defense.
And it does. They'll go to the sideline feeling a lot better that they didn't give up a touchdown after the march against them. But if I were the offense, I wouldn't hang my head over that one. That's a good drive, and 3 points were put on the board.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
And on the first drive, 3 and out. I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically, what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
So the penalty certainly helps them out as they come up on 2nd and 5. Now it's Roethlisberger. And it's complete. He gets this one to Washington. The 20. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. James Washington, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Steelers have taken the lead. Chris Boswell now for the extra point. And we'll see if this rain affects the team's decisions going forward, but they kick it here, and it's good. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him in contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super toe.
On 2nd and 12, Jackson, and that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
Here's Jackson to throw. And unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. A good return there, 17 yards. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Meanwhile, on the NFL scoreboard, a game going on in Chicago. And it's the Titans who are off to the early lead in that ball game. Remember to keep an eye on the ticker, of course, at the bottom of your screen for updates on that game and others around the NFL. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup. Patrick Onwuasor up to make the tackle. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. On 2nd down, Connor looking for space. And across midfield he goes into Raven territory.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on 3rd. They'll try and run for it with Connor. And he won't be close to a 1st down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. They'll be marked inches short. No gain on the play. And that's going to lead them to 4th down. The offense here not budging. They're going to fight for it on 4th and inches. Roethlisberger keeps it, and he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. They only needed a few inches, and they didn't get much more than that, but by about the width of a shoelace, they convert on 4th down. On 1st and 10 is Connor. And to the 36-yard line, taken down there after getting 8 yards.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old-school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it.
Hey, tight end's right. Watch tight end.
On 2nd down now. It's Connor, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Roethlisberger now to throw on 3rd down. And he's got his man, the tight end, McDonald. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
Tight end to the right, boy. Tight end to the right. Move. Alert. 3 down.
They'll run with the NC State man. It's Jalen Samuels. The UCLA product, Kenny Young, had the tackle.
A 21-yard line. A 3-yard pickup. Brings up 2nd and 7 at the Ravens' 21.
This will probably be the last play of the quarter.
Here we go.
After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Second quarter action from Pittsburgh. It is the Steelers in control of the football as they've got it 2nd and 7.
180. Check 48 to Mike.
On 2nd and 7, Roethlisberger. That's complete to his running back, Connor. And he's taken down after a gain of 3 as they move it from the 22 to the 19. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
36-yard attempt.
And Boswell's kick is good. And they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone and get you 6?
The Ravens take over 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
You ain't doing nothing today. You ain't doing nothing today. 6 guys. Check 6 guys. Check it to 6. Move. Now. Kill. Turn it up.
From the gun, it's a run for Ingram. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. The linebacker, Ryan Shazier, there to make the tackle.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Jackson from the shotgun. He's going deep for Brown. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete.
A lot of contact there, but there was no way it appeared that he was going to get a flag on that one. Looking for it, but he wasn't going to get it. And as an ex-defensive back, you love it when they let you play and jostle downfield.
On 3rd down, Jackson. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
It'll be a net of 40 yards there following a 43-yard punt, 3-yard return, and the Steelers are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now Roethlisberger. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 15. And he will bring this back. It's a pick 6 and a Raven touchdown. Short throw, pick 6 right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. Fielded about a yard deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Back to the air, Roethlisberger after the pick 6. And they get to him with a pressure as Roethlisberger goes down. Tony Jefferson, credit him with a sack as he buries him for a loss of 10. And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Now Roethlisberger. He's going to go for a big play downfield. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Tony Jefferson. And they will finally get him as he's all the way down near the 40-yard line. They set themselves behind the chains, tried to get it all back in one play, and it backfired.
Didn't it feel like a pitcher working his way into a 3-0 count, right? You're behind. What do your coaches always tell you? Get it back one pitch at a time. In this case, they tried to get it back right away, and it didn't work out.
In your face.
Watch the eye.
This is Ingram on 1st and 10. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
It's a loss of 2. Brings up 2nd and 12. At the 44-yard.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. From the gun, Jackson. Flushed out right. He's got the first down here inside the 30. Lamar Jackson, such a threat with those legs, able to improvise and get the first.
Now, those are the ones that hurt defensively. You do everything right. Excellent pressure, good coverage downfield, and then he slips out the back door and turns it into a nice gain.
Let's go now. Get the flag. Eat. Silver.
Throwing now, Jackson on first down. This will be caught by Brown. And he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
So second and inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. He was looking for Mark Ingram there. And that takes us from second to third down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. They only got 2, but that was enough as they'll convert to make it first and goal.
Ready. 55. Wild Bill. 55.
This time Jackson will throw it. Steps away to his left. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Got out of the pocket. Didn't look like he had anybody open, Charles, so just gets rid of it.
And a good play by him. If no one's open and you don't have a running lane that you want to take, make the right choice. Get rid of it. Live to fight another down.
Nothing on first down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line, second and goal. Now it's Jackson. And that is incomplete. He released that awkwardly. It almost looked like a pitcher who gripped his fastball a little too hard and let it go late, and it bounced in front of the plate.
Yeah, one of those fastballs that ends up at 57 feet, not 60 feet, 6 inches. Just a little short with the arm, which is unusual because we saw him in warm-ups. He's got a big, strong arm when he delivers it with confidence.
2 incompletions haven't moved him any closer. And likely throwing again, you'd have to think on third and goal here. And now the third down throw incomplete as well.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything to warrant the flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. So that's one you almost never see at this level. A wobbler from very short range, and it winds up no good.
All right, Brandon, if he slipped or someone got a hand on it, then I could understand it, but it's almost like he heard a whistle or something that stopped his swing. A very strange result, especially for an NFL kicker.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive.
And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here.
Roethlisberger going to get this one to Connor. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. So a challenge coming down from the booth, and that's where these challenges come from, of course, in the final 2 minutes of the half.
Yeah, now we're going to New York, right? That's command central for the officials. They'll talk, they'll take a look at it, communicate with the referee at the game site, and issue a final decision because they do have the final call now.
Ben leaves to Connor on the draw. They find some open field here. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And he is finally brought down at the Ravens' 27-yard line.
Check, 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 check.
Steelers, first down.
Snipper.
First and 10 at the
Topper.
27-yard line.
Right back to Connor here on first. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Black 30. What we got? What we got? What we got? Black at third.
From the red zone now, here's Roethlisberger on first down. That went into the hands of his tailback, Samuels. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. Give him 2 yards on that play, and it'll be a second down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. And once again, they stop him behind the line. Great job by this Ravens defense. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts, as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Let's go, B, let's go. Hey, let's get this.
From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. Throwing the out route and complete. That's Joseph. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands.
A 28-yard attempt.
Boswell's kick is good. And they will take the lead at 13-10. Now, the drive ends in just 3, but they'll take it. Looks like they'll head to the locker room, barring something unfortunate, in front on the scoreboard.
Yeah, they may not be jumping up and down and celebrating because they have the lead, but still, any little momentum in a game like this is important to a team, and they'll feel real good about going in and regrouping, knowing that they are out in front.
And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
So we've hit halftime, just a field goal separating these two teams at the break. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Jackson. Got him in, it's Brown. And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
Timing is everything, and they work on this cut all the time. They work on all the timing patterns, and this time it paid off for them. Worked him to the center of the field, cut it to the outside, ball's delivered, gets both feet down for the completion.
A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
It's our time, guys. It's our time.
On first down, Ingram. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secure before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Could be 4-down territory even if they don't get this, but they need just a few inches here on third. From the gun, Jackson. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. And whistle blown, a timeout here is taken, and it's taken by the kicking team. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. And now we'll get a delay here as they try to give themselves a little more room for the punt. And that'll set them back 5. Here's Sam Cook now as he's on to punt for Baltimore. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. Now a hit and a loose football. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And he will score. Touchdown, Baltimore. A big play there. His first touchdown of the new season. And the Ravens have retaken the lead. Tucker now to add the point after. So that'll back him up 5. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. And that's going to leave him with just one timeout remaining still in the third quarter. We'll see if that comes back to haunt him. We'll be back. Tucker now for the extra point. And that will make this a 4-point game.
Next to score, Ravens 17, Steelers 13. Justin Tucker, the kickoff.
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
You.
Again, it's Connor. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves them with a 3rd and 3.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Now with a play clock at 4, we're going to get a timeout called. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter.
Like 20.
48 right now. Let's go. Let's go deep, tighten up. Let's go deep, tighten up.
From the gun on 3rd down, it's Roethlisberger. And Big Ben intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Patrick Onwuasor. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line.
Okay, partner, no surprise to you. I'm going to look at this from the defensive perspective. In the rain, you have to be more cautious trying to cover passing routes. Why? The offense knows where they're going with the football. The receiver knows the route he's going to run. You have to make sure you keep your footing underneath you.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They run. It's Mark Ingram. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. The penalty moves him into the red zone here on 1st and 10. Here's Jackson operating from the gun. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through. So many times we talk about having good eye discipline when you're playing defense, making sure your eyes are in the proper place on a given play. Looks like that discipline came to the front there, didn't it? They were able to hold him for a short gain when he took off running.
In danger of squandering their great field position as they come up on a 3rd and 7. Now Jackson from the gun, he'll throw. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
But that was certainly an aggressive call and an aggressive play. Instead of just going for the 1st down, took the shot in the end zone, went for the touchdown.
And on 3rd down, maybe said, forget about the sticks. We want 6. And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces them to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. They trail 20-13 our scores. They have it 1st and 10. And here's a good way to kick off a drive, complete over the middle. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. 23 yards, the final tally.
Like 80.
Roethlisberger will hand to Connor. And a good burst there gets him 7 up to midfield.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
A good run got 7 on 1st. Here's 2nd and 3. Again, a run with Connor. Takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there.
Ready? Like 80.
He was taken down at the 50-yard line. It's a gain of a yard. Brings up 3rd down and 2.
Nicholas, 66.
From midfield now, here's Roethlisberger. Going deep to the end zone for Juju. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Juju Smith-Schuster, his 2nd touchdown on the season, as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And that will tie things at 20 all. Fitting for what's been a tight ball game. We're all even at 20 now as the kick's away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6.
At the 30-yard line.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Throwing is Jackson. He's got his man. It's Andrews. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a first down on a gain of 10.
And a Raven first down.
Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. A 10th carry here for Mark Ingram. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Here we go, let's bring it. Let's go, let's push it. Let's bring it. Mark 55, Mark 55.
Now Jackson. He's got it to Ingram, complete. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 39 yards the distance covered on the catch and run.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. To throw is Jackson. And avoids the contact by sliding. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on first down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Jackson buying time, and he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. Bud Dupree gets him for a loss of a yard, and it will bring up 3rd down. Now flags come in. I think one of the Ravens got going a little early. After the false start, sets up a 3rd and 9. From the gun, it's Jackson. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
And that is no good. And a costly one there as this game remains tied here in the 4th. What a tough spot to miss a kick. Just an absolute letdown.
Look, they got themselves in the field goal range, gave them a chance to take the lead. They come up empty, and now you wonder, will their offense ever see the football again?
Yeah, because on the other side, one through the post, and this thing could be over. On first down, Connor going to be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Big stop, G. Big stop. Let's go.
Looking to throw on second down. Roethlisberger. He'll get that one complete to Connor. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Last play they got stuffed at the line. Different story here. Over 20 yards. Roethlisberger now 9 of 17 through the air. Play fake to Connor. Now Roethlisberger. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Jalen Ferguson. A sensational effort by him, and that is one of the biggest losses you'll ever see on a sack. Now this one from about 2 counties over after the sack. They come up on a second and very long. Roethlisberger will throw. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off at the 48. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line. So how about that for a momentum switch?
We're in the fourth quarter, and it's a tie game. You've got to take care of the football here. Now their opportunity to take the lead right out the window, and everything is flipped in the other direction.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
Three yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Here's Jackson. He uncorks it for Snead. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. And the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. Jackson from the shotgun. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Mike Hilton.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
So good field position for the Steelers as they come up 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. It's Connor as they stay on the ground. He's got the 1st down and more past midfield. And finally taken down at the 15. A big play that time for Pittsburgh. 46 yards on the ground.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. They had the huge play last time. Here it is a much smaller gain of 2.
Brings up 2nd and 8.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Getting down to the good stuff. All tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They face a 2nd down, but they are in field goal range. On 2nd down, it's Connor. And here he'll get it down to the 7. It's a gain of 6, moves him to a manageable 3rd and 2 situation. Now, what's the thinking here? Because a touchdown would be nice, but you've ensured yourself a chance at 3 in the lead, so how worried are you about the 6?
You're not very worried about if you're confident in your kicker. And if you got a kicker who can put it through the post, you feel really good about trying to bleed that clock down. In an ideal scenario, your kicker puts it through the post as the clock hits zeros.
some. Come on here. Come get some. He don't want it.
On third down, it's Connor. And they'll lose yardage here. They go backwards to the 13-yard line. Ravens going to use their third and final timeout as it comes with 1:15 left to go in the second half.
Chris Boswell on for the field goal of 30-yard.
And Boswell's kick is with a little over a minute to play. They have taken the lead. Big kick right there to give them the lead in the fourth, but there is still time left for a final drive.
Did they score too soon? Post-game will tell us, right? Depending on what happens on this drive, that's how we'll analyze it. If the other team scores, they score.
There goes Green. And he's going to take it all the way into the end zone. What a return, and they've taken the lead.
Wow, I know it's a never-say-never situation, but to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
The score that puts them in front here late, but now you got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they want to make the last tackle. You mess up, could come back at you a long way.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line.
Here we go.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They're down here in a one-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
Well, they have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And he can't corral it. That would have wrapped it up if he'd been able to hold on. Instead, it brings up third down.
And 10 yards to go.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And, oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Tony Jefferson. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the second week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. Down to a knee here. The defense still with a couple of timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them.
A loss of a yard brings up 2nd and 11 at the 31-yard line.
So the final seconds tick away in this Baltimore victory. And I tell you, these division games never for the faint of heart, but they come through with a tight victory here on the road.
And you find yourself working harder in a game like this too, don't you?
Yeah,
because you got to stay
sweat.
with it, right? You got to stay with it. You got to stay locked in. It's our type of a game. And you just mentioned it. Division game on the road, tight, and they find a way to win it. Way to hunker down, as my old coach used to say, and find your way through.
So for Baltimore, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they'll have another road date next week with the New York Giants. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, they'll drop to 0-2. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to Houston to take on the Texans. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.